Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here for NFL Power Rankings following the Super Bowl and the 2019-20 NFL season. After the Kansas City Chiefs got it done against the San Francisco 49ers, it is no better time than to give NFL Power Rankings. And we begin with number one. We begin with the Kansas City Chiefs, of course. Now look, they have a lot of questions heading into this offseason. They are almost certainly going to extend Patrick Mahomes. He's not an upcoming free agent, but it's time for him to earn that extension, and it's going to probably be for $40 million a year, which is going to be terrible for their cap space. And they also have Chris Jones, their star defensive lineman, coming up as a free agent. I have almost no doubt that they're not going to be as talented next year as they were this year, but they do have still some young players on their team that's going to continue to get better, and they're still the Super Bowl champions. You have to respect that. At least a week after the Super Bowl, they should be the number one on everyone's power rankings, so they're number one on mine. Number two, we have the Baltimore Ravens. Look, people, they were 14-2 in the regular season. They were dominant in the regular season. Now, Lamar Jackson is 0-2 in the playoffs. And both of his playoff games, especially the first halves, were not impressive. He's going to have to improve in the playoffs, but for this guy to be as dominant in terms of winning football games, albeit in the regular season, winning football games this early in his NFL career, you have to continue to respect the Baltimore Ravens. And they have some upcoming free agents, but no one that's going to be too back-breaking. The Ravens are number two. Number three, the San Francisco 49ers. They should still be a strong team as well, but I do have some doubts. But I'm still going to respect them, right? They were 13-3 in the regular season, dominant throughout the playoffs until they got to the Super Bowl, and they dominated almost 3/4 of the Super Bowl. So they were still one of the better teams last year without a doubt. I do have some concerns, though, because they have a number of upcoming free agents, and their cap space isn't really ideal, so their team will likely be worse next season. And also, this was a team that went 13-3 this season after having 4 to 5 straight really bad seasons. Can they sustain being a winning football team? If Garoppolo is healthy, they should, but there is certainly some doubt here, but they still deserve to be very high in power rankings, and they're number 3 in mine. Number 4, we have the Seattle Seahawks, and my one concern with this team is, man, they just won a lot of close games last year. Is that something that they can sustain? And I say yes, because that's what Russell Wilson has done for his entire career. Ever since he was drafted by the Seattle Seahawks, the guy just wins games. Even if the Seahawks don't look great talent-wise, they just continue to win games, and they have a lot of cap space heading into this offseason. They hope to resign Jadeveon Clowney, but he might have too high of a price tag for them. But even if they let him go, they can find a decent replacement or two for him. They have plenty of cap space, plenty of room, and they have some young ascending talents on offense now being surrounded by Russell Wilson. You have to like that to me. At the Seattle Seahawks at number 4. Number 5, I have the New Orleans Saints, and the big question for the Saints is at the quarterback position. Now, their defense was very good last year, and the playoffs was also good as well. Their offense is what let them down. Drew Brees, let's just call it what it was. He wasn't great in that playoff game. Will they bring him back? Will they bring back Teddy Bridgewater? And they're talking about possibly Taysom Hill, who's a restricted free agent. Maybe he's going to be the franchise quarterback. Look, I love Taysom Hill as a Swiss Army knife weapon. That's all good and dandy. I don't know nothing about no franchise quarterback. This guy has thrown for 119 career passing yards. I need to see way more than that from Taysom Hill before I say that, okay, I'm going to go all in on the Saints. But they're very talented outside that quarterback position, and we saw them go 5-0 with Teddy Bridgewater. So I still have them very high. They're a Super Bowl contender, but who will that quarterback be? And they're going to have to get some cap room in order to get that quarterback too, as they're only sitting with about $12 million in cap room right now. Number 6, we have the Green Bay Packers, and look, I understand they were overrated last season. Their record was inflated, but they're not leaving the NFC North, right? They're still going to be going up against the Vikings, who are a good team, but still they had 3 wins over the Vikings last year. Still going up against the Bears, and we don't know about their quarterback situation right now, and the Lions, who are still the Detroit Lions. The Packers will have a tougher schedule next year, but they're going to have the same team. Not many upcoming free agents. Brian Bulaga is the most significant free agent. They have a young team, especially defensively, that's going to continue to improve. The Packers are still going to be around, and they still deserve to be this high. I have them at number 6. Number 7, I have the New England Patriots. And I understand the upcoming free agent, the big boy, the old man, Tom Brady. I get it. I understand it. But they went 12-4 last year. Their defense only allowed 225 points in the regular season. That was good for a first. Even if they let go of Tom Brady, and I think that they will, Bill Belichick is going to make sure he has a fine replacement. They went 3-1 with Jacoby Brissett and Jimmy Garoppolo. They went 11-5 with Matt Castle. They're going to be fine. They're still going to be a fringe playoff team, if not an outright playoff team. I still have them number 7. And if they find a very good replacement for Tom Brady, like a Cam Newton or Phillip Rivers, they could still be a Super Bowl contender. I have them at number 7. Number 8, we have the Minnesota Vikings, a very good team. But what will it take for them to become a true Super Bowl contender? They weren't a Super Bowl contender to me last year. I know they beat the Saints in the playoffs. Very impressive. They weren't a true Super Bowl contender to me last year. I think they could take that leap next year. I think they could be just as good as the 49ers were last year, to be quite honest with you, and replace them on top of the NFC. I need to see it first. I can't have them in the top 5 yet, but I have them at number 8. Number 9, I have my Tennessee Titans. Look, we made the AFC Championship game. I could easily have us top 4, but I'm realistic. I have us number 9. Want to see what we do in terms of our upcoming free agents: Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, Jack Conklin, Logan Ryan. But people, we made the AFC Championship game, 4 straight winning seasons, albeit all 9-7, 4 straight winning seasons. And I like where we're headed as a franchise. I have us in the top 10. I have us number 9. Number 10, I have the Houston Texans. I'm sure Texans fans are going to be upset that I have them behind the Tennessee Titans. Look, we made the AFC Championship game a game you guys have never made, and we look better against the Chiefs than y'all did against the Chiefs. All right, and we also look better in the second half of the year than y'all did, although y'all look fine too. Don't get me wrong. Deshaun Watson is elite, and as long as he's around, he's going to continue to get to the playoffs. But can you guys make the leap to becoming a Super Bowl contender under Bill O'Brien? That's what I don't know about. That's what I say no to. And Bill O'Brien ain't going nowhere. And not only is he not going anywhere, he's now the general manager. So only number 10 for the Houston Texans, but still a playoff team next year, most likely. Number 11, the Buffalo Bills. And I'm very intrigued by this football team. This could be a Super Bowl contender next year. They have a bunch of cap room next year, over $60-70 million in cap room. They can go out and spend all kinds of money and really build this team. God knows they need help offensively. Get some good running backs in there. I like Devin Singletary. See if you can get a good running back. Like if Derrick Henry comes available, I'd love to see Derrick Henry in Buffalo. Get some wide receivers in Buffalo. Get some talent around Josh Allen. Build up that offensive line. The defense is already good to go. You can add to that too if you want to. And if you have a good draft as well, the Bills could be Super Bowl contenders. People do not sleep on the Buffalo Bills. Number 12, we have the LA Rams. They're going to be back next season to the playoffs, to me, most likely. I want to see some of the decisions they'll make heading into this offseason. Dante Fowler's an upcoming free agent. Andrew Whitworth is saying he's going to come back. He's not going to retire, but he still needs to be re-signed. They have some key free agents. It was a down year for the Rams, but they still competed. They still went 9-7 in a division that featured the Seattle Seahawks, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Cardinals, who ended up being decent as well. It was a tough division. They still went 9-7, started a winning record despite being in that division and the tougher conference out of the two in the league. They're still a good team, not a great team right now, but a good team. And if Todd Gurley goes back to 100%, they will be a great team again. Give me the Rams at number 12. Number 13, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger is coming back. Now, will he still be the MVP level Ben Roethlisberger, right? The guy that was putting up the crazy statistics over the past number of seasons? We'll see. But the fact that they won 8 games without Ben Roethlisberger was a testament to Mike Tomlin and the job that he's doing over there. They have some upcoming free agents as well. Bud Dupree and Javon Hargrave, 2 great defenders, young defenders that they're going to have to bring back. And they're only probably going to be able to afford one, even if that. I mean, probably both of them might be out of the door. But with Ben Roethlisberger coming back offensively, I think that makes up for it. They could still be a 10-plus win team next year. So I have the Steelers at number 13. Number 14, I have the Eagles, and number 15, I have the Cowboys. I have to couple them together and talk about them because I know NFC East fans are going to be arguing about this. For this moment, sure, I'll have the Eagles over the Cowboys. I don't think there's much of a difference there at all. I just feel that the Eagles earned this, right? They won the division over the Cowboys. They had one more win this year than the Cowboys. I know the Cowboys had a better point differential. I know if you look at this statistic and that statistic, they were a better team. The Eagles had a better record, and when it came down to it, the Eagles beat the Cowboys when it mattered most. They deserved to be on top of the Cowboys. And the Cowboys have way more uncertainty heading into this offseason than the Eagles do. Now, I love the hire of Mike McCarthy. I'm sure he's going to get the Cowboys back into the playoffs. But for right now, just for power rankings, the Eagles deserve to be ahead of the Cowboys just on what we saw last season. And not enough in the offseason. Give me the Eagles at 14 and Cowboys at 15. But I do like the Cowboys prospects next year. 16, we have the Chicago Bears, and I'm teetering on the Chicago Bears. I want to see what they do at that quarterback position. If they go into another year with Mitchell Trubisky, the Bears could be a bad team next year. Not awful, but maybe not like a 3-13, 4-12. But I think he could be a 6-10. Oh, I think he could be a 6-10 with Mr. Trubisky. I think the team is going to lose faith in him. We saw that at the end of this year. The defense wasn't playing as strong as they were in the beginning of the year. That could continue to next season if their offense continues to elicit no confidence from the defense. But if they go out and they get a Cam Newton, or they get a Phillip Rivers, or they get a Tom Brady even, they could be a Super Bowl contender. So it's just they're teetering. They're right in the middle here. I want to see what they do at the quarterback position this offseason. 17, the Denver Broncos. This team is certainly on the rise. You look at the young talent that you have. Bradley Chubb, he'll be coming back healthy on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, Phillip Lindsay, Cortland Sutton turned into a Pro Bowl wide receiver. But Drew Lock, is he that guy? A lot of people think he is. I'm not convinced yet. Yeah, he has some swag, but ultimately he has to go out there and throw the football. Right? Baker Mayfield had all the swag last year, could not go out there and throw the football well. Can Drew Lock do that? I need to see that consistently. Look good at the end of the year. Can he do it for a whole 16-game schedule in the AFC West? We'll see. AFC West isn't that hard. The Chiefs are only a really hard team right there. But still, I need to see it. But they're definitely going to be in the playoff discussion next year. 18, Cleveland Browns. Okay, is Kevin Stefanski the answer? I don't know, but he's going to have to be for their sakes. They still have great potential, even Super Bowl potential. Will this be the right coach to get out of them? I don't know, but they're still talented, and they still have a lot of cap space. They're going to get some more guys, more talent on the offense, on the defense, and hopefully primarily on that offensive line in that defense. And they're going to be around, people, so don't sleep on the Cleveland Browns next year. 19, New York Jets. They also had a nice surge to end last season. It's gonna be tough because, as I'm talking about, there's a lot of these AFC teams that are on the rise. I just talked about the Broncos. The Browns are gonna be better. They're not gonna be as bad as they were last year. And I still think the Bills, the Texans, the Titans, I still like them as playoff teams. So it's gonna be difficult. So I know Jets fans are gonna say, why are we not top 16? Okay, your coach is Adam Gase. Relax. But if you guys have some nice offseason additions, you guys could easily enter the top half of the league. 20, we have the Atlanta Falcons. I think they're on the decline. I think they're in trouble. They have not been drafting well in recent years. I can't tell you a draft pick in the last 2 years I really like in Atlanta. Somehow, I know they had this winning streak to end the season. They won 4 straight games. I'm not buying it. I think Dan Quinn extended himself, one more year here, but I think next year is going to be a disaster. I have them 20 right now because they won 4 straight games to end the season. They were 7-9. But I think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL next year, to be quite honest with you. I just don't see the upcoming talent. And they're already letting go of some of their talent. Like Vic Beasley, he's gone. And I know he's been inconsistent, but that was supposed to be one of your staple cornerstone guys coming up. And he's going to be gone now. Calvin Ridley, that's like the only young draft back I really like for right now for Atlanta. I think problems are ahead. 21 Tampa Bay. What are you guys doing at the quarterback position? I'd love to put you guys over Atlanta. I think your defense, it has way more potential right now. It's on the upswing. I can't say the same about Atlanta. I think your offense showed a lot more potential last season outside of the Jameis Winston turnovers. But what's the quarterback position looking like? And until I know that, I can't have you guys much higher than this. 22 Indianapolis Colts. And finally, Colts fans are catching up to me. Jacoby Brissett ain't the answer, dog. He's fine. He's alright. But he's not going to get you to the promised land. I don't think he's going to get you to the playoffs. Unless you have an elite defense, he ain't getting you to the playoffs. He ain't a franchise quarterback. Now Colts fans are like, oh, that's what MJ was talking about. Now they're interested in Tom Brady. And now they're interested in Cam Newton. And we're going to see what they do at the quarterback position. But trust me, Jacoby Brissett ain't the answer. 23 Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm intrigued next year. I like Gardner Minshew. I'm a Titan fan, so I only like him so much, but I like Gardner Minshew. I think he's going to come out, throw the rock next year. I think the offense is going to be a lot better. The defense, not quite, because right now they're kind of in cap hell. They're going to have to make some moves. No one's going to pick up the Nick Foles contract. I'm sorry, so you got to keep him. Way too much dead cap to get rid of him. So they have some problems, right? Yannick Ngakoue is probably on the way out. Calais Campbell may have to be cut if they want to keep Yannick Ngakoue. There are problems with the cap right now. So I think there's a limit to the Jaguars next season, but I think they could certainly end up being playoff contenders next year. Don't get me wrong, but this is only as high as I can put them right now. 24, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. I got to get used to saying that. The Las Vegas Raiders. I'm not buying it. Look, I know they had a nice start to last season. They had some young draft picks that did well. Max Crosby, Cleveland Farrell was fine. I'm not buying it. I think there are problems here. They still ended up with one of the worst point differentials in the league. I like the Broncos way more in the division. The Chargers are certainly on the way down, but the Chiefs are still strong. I'm just not buying it. If they have another strong draft class, then maybe another free agent class as well, maybe. I'm just not buying it right now. I'm not feeling it. The John Gruden thing, I'm just not buying it. I'm not feeling it. 24 for the Raiders. 25 Detroit Lions. And I know some people are going to say this is too high, and I know I'm the clown that predicted that the Lions were going to win the NFC North. Look, Matthew Stafford got hurt, and they still would have lost the NFC North, don't get me wrong. But they were 3-4-1 with Matthew Stafford, and then they lost 9 straight. I guess with Matthew Stafford, they lost 8 straight without Matthew Stafford. Of course. Look, this is not a shock to me. Is this a shock to anyone? Yes, the Lions are going to lose every game without Matthew Stafford, but if he's out there, and he's been out there for most of his career, they're going to be all right. And look, especially, don't forget about Matthew Stafford, Kerryon Johnson as well, right? If they get their big 3, quarterback, running back, wide receiver out there and healthy, they're going to be better next year, at least a 6-win team. They deserve to be 25 to me. 26 Arizona Cardinals. Look, I love Kyler Murray as a rookie last year, right? He's going to have to make some improvements. I do like him though. There's still a need for talent here. There's just not enough talent here in Arizona. Some people think they're going to be a playoff contender. Kyler Murray is going to be an MVP candidate. Look, Larry Fitzgerald, he's coming back, but come on, man, he's on the decline. Christian Kirk is good, he ain't great. The running back position, Kenyon Drake, he's an upcoming free agent. David Johnson's done. Your offensive line ain't good. DJ Humphrey's upcoming free agent. Defensively, look, I like Budda Baker. I love Chandler Jones, but Patrick Peterson is getting older. Look, there are problems with this roster. They still have work to do on this roster. I'm not buying into it yet. I think we're a couple years away from the Cardinals being truly playoff contenders. I mean, maybe they'll be 500 for a good stretch next year. I don't think, but when it's all said and done, they'll really be even close. Cardinals at 26, but we'll see what moves they make this offseason. They do have some cap space. 27 LA Chargers. It's getting ugly. Now, they have a lot of cap space, and they have a lot of upcoming free agents as well. I don't know who they're bringing back, right? So Phillip Rivers, they're not bringing him back. Hunter Henry, are they bringing him back? I don't know. They're talking about maybe franchising him. Austin Eckler, Melvin Gordon, and company. What's going on in LA? Anthony Lynn, he's still there? I don't know, man. It just seems like LA is on the decline. And look, I know people want to just poo-poo Phillip Rivers. I think he's been a big reason why the Chargers have been remaining afloat for years now. And without him, without his leadership, I think it's going to be a problem. We'll see. But I just don't know. Unless if they get Brady. And even if they get Brady, there's going to be some issues. I just think this is going to be a down year for the Chargers. I'm at 27. 28, Miami Dolphins, right? Look, they had some nice wins to end the year, and you got to respect that. And they still have some talented deficiencies, don't get me wrong, but look, they have some high draft picks, at least one, right? They have the 5th pick, and I want to say, you know, one in the middle round and one at the end of the first round. So they have 3 first-round draft picks. They're going to get some talent, have a bunch of cap space, right? Still have talent deficiencies that they're going to have to fix, but Brian Flores looks like a decent coach, and they won 5 games, 3 of which they were 3-2 in their last 5 games. So you have to respect that. To me, they deserve to be 28, and they're 28. Carolina Panthers 29. Look, I'm sorry. Look, I like Brian Burns. He's a nice young talent. Kyle Allen, he phased off by the end of the year, and the Panthers lost 8 straight games, right? There's still some talent here, but they have a good list of upcoming free agents themselves, and Matt Rule, I liked him as a hire, but this is a team where I just don't know where they are right now. Like, what are they going to do at the quarterback position? They just lost their identity late in the year. I love Christian McCaffrey, but what kind of team are we looking at here next year? I just don't know yet. And for that reason, they have to be 29. 30, New York Giants. And look, I really want to put you guys higher than this. You're going to end up better than this season. This is going to be a 6-7 win year for the New York Giants, at least. It wouldn't even shock me if they end up competing for the playoffs, maybe even getting in. I mean, depending on what changes they make. They make some changes, don't get me wrong. But I think they're definitely on the upswing. Right? Remember, I was one of the guys defending their draft pick of Daniel Jones. We already know Saquon Barkley and the talent that he possesses. They're on the upswing. I just can't put you above many teams right now until you guys prove it, right? These are 2 horrible seasons you're coming off of. I cannot put you guys much higher than this, but trust me, you are on the upswing. 31, Washington Redskins. Okay, I'm not buying you guys are really on the upswing. Look, Dwayne Haskins had a nice game or 2, had like 5 bad ones, or at least mediocre ones. Like, he still has a long ways to go. And maybe under Ron Rivera that will come. I mean, he's a defensive coach, but Ron Rivera is just known for being a good head coach in this league. And I'm sure he's going to help the Redskins. I just don't know if the Redskins are just that good yet. I still think they have to accumulate a fair share of talent. I think they're a ways away right now, so I have them 31. And then 32, Cincinnati Bengals. And look, Joe Burrow is going to come in, and I love Joe Burrow. I think he could be the second coming of Tom Brady. Maybe not winning 6 championships, but just in terms of play style, he's like a Tom Brady, Tony Romo mix to me. But you got stunk last year. You were horrible. You were the worst in the league. And based on only the thought of you drafting Joe Burrow 2 months from now is not enough for me. You're still 32. That's where you deserve to be. So there you go. Those are my updated NFL power rankings. What are yours? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.